I'm Eggy Drago. I am the cream of the crop. I am the yolk on top. I'm a part-time video store clerk, a part-time brawler. Oh yeah, and a full-time human being. Wow. When I went to Tokyo back in February 2024, I went to an idol concert on a whim because my VTuber Oshi, who graduated, was into that scene. Needless to say, I got hooked. We bought way too many checkies. So much so that we have 2 checky books. 2 checky namakans. All hail the checky namakan. All hail the checky namakan. All hail the checky namakan. After talking to a few idols, I realized every single one of them has a story, be it why they chased this dream, their ups and downs, and even their future after all this. And that's what I'm here to do. Learn more about the idol culture, the various scenes around the world, and to give them a platform to tell their stories. Every idol has a dream and a story to tell. This is IDOLEYEZ. A member of Etude and also a tenured member of the Sydney idol scene, we'll talk to Tilda about her idol journey. All eyes on me. IDOLEYEZ, episode 32. Tilda of Etude. Tonight, or this afternoon if you're in Australia. Yeah. It should take some time to load a little. There we go. Hello. I am the cream of the crop. I am the yolk on top. This is Mighty Eggy Drago, and we are here for IDOLEYEZ episode 32. We've done 32 of these. But here with our guest for tonight, we're back in the land down under with someone who is representing Etude, representing the Sydney idol scene. She is a powerhouse dancer. She is a god tier photographer and graphic designer. She is Tilda. Tilda, how are you?
I'm good. Hi, how are you?
I am doing swell on this lovely Saturday night / Sunday afternoon for you. But thank you so much, Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation for IDOLEYEZ. Little full circle, I guess, moment, because when I got into the, I guess, like the Chica idol scene / Kaiga idol scene, especially like the Aussie idol scene in general, I think the first 3 groups on Twitter that I followed were Etude, were Fable, and Amuse. So full circle.
Oh my gosh.
We got you on, so yeah. But Tilda, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It's very hot here. Very hot.
In contrast, it's very cold here in America. So, all right, let's get this show on the road tonight. As we take every single guest on a road back to the past, and I ask you first, who or what got you into idol culture / J-pop culture?
So originally, I am from Indonesia, and it's obviously a part of Asia. So I grew up with a lot of Asian pop culture. So I grew up watching anime, and then when I was younger, I saw JKT48, or at least like a JKT48 cover group. I do not remember which one it was. It was a JKT48 song. I saw them in a mall, and that has just always piqued my curiosity. And so that's what got me into idol culture.
Aside from JKT48, were there like any groups that like you like were actively listening to like afterwards?
When this was when I was really young. I was more into like big flashy K-pop groups, but like I got into those K-pop groups actually from like their Japanese songs. So like I loved Kara, I loved Girls' Generation, like those groups, and like when the girls like all those groups that were formed in Japan and like had a big following in Japan. So yeah.
very, I guess, very interesting because like a lot of people, I guess, on IDOLEYEZ, very much a lot of them got into like the idol culture through like J-pop or Love Live. You, it's it's K-pop,
Oh,
so
it's K-pop.
so I guess when did you have like the inkling to like really become an idol?
Um, I had the inkling. Uh, when I was when I was younger, I always wanted to be like a performer. I like had like the thought bubble of like auditioning for a company, but then like coming to Australia and like there's like not really much idol stuff here, at all. So the inkling to become an idol was I went to Oz Comic Con and my friend had another mutual friend that was performing in a Love Live group, like a cover group, and so we went to watch them during the convention, and I like realized like, oh, it's here too. Like we can do that here too. So um I wanted to do that, like pursue that after seeing that group.
Hmm. So with that, did you do like any solo idol activities or like did you like pursue a group or something afterwards?
I tried to be a YouTube dancer for a while, like a Nico Nico Doga. I had like a account and everything, and I used to film dance covers, but I never uploaded them. Um, but other than that, forming Etude was my first like idol experience.
Hmm. Uh, you said you did some like dance covers on YouTube. Did you have like any experience with like choreo or like dance classes or choir or like chorus or anything of that sort to like prepare you to become an idol?
Um, I was in my school's uh dancing club troupe. And then I was also in the choir when I was in primary school and high school. Wasn't really a musical program in my high school, unfortunately, but I feel like if there was, I would have definitely joined that. Um, and I had been part of like extracurricular dance class, like dance troops and classes, but those were like heavily like when I was before high school, so before I joined Etude. So
S-
yeah,
Um, I do want to ask, have you always been Tilda? Ever since like,
yeah.
okay.
Um, so I don't mind sharing this. My full name is Matilda
Oh,
because my parents had always wanted to come back to Australia, so they called me Matilda. But I think that's a little silly, so I removed the ma and called myself Tilda.
I was wondering that because like usually, I guess like it's very consistent. Like with some idols, like they just cut off like half of their name
Yeah,
and just have it as have the other half as their idol name. So, um,
it's like it was hard to find like a stage name
mm.
because nothing really resonated with me. So I was just like, I'm Tilda. Just call me Tilda.
um, what else? I guess when you saw that Love Live group cover group in Oz Comic Con, and then like what like from that till the formation of Etude, like how much time was there in between?
Um, less maybe like a year or so. Um, I think I think the con was Smash before they moved locations, and I remember the Love Live group. It actually had Amy in it.
Oh,
Amy was part of it.
oh.
Yeah, I remember. I'm like thinking back, like it was Amy's group
Hmm,
that I first saw. But yeah, it took maybe like a year or so.
I see. So after that year, like, can you like tell me how Etude was formed?
Okay. I chose this forum because funnily enough, I did not like Love Live. I my cousin and former member Nia, we used to hang out. We used to play Love Live, the Sifas game, like the tap game.
Mhm.
And then like I was playing it by myself, and I was like, wait a minute, it's actually pretty good. Like the songs are pretty good. So I asked her, like, she thought it was a joke, like because she knew how much I did not like the game. I I was like, do you want to start a Love Live group? And she genuinely thought I was joking. Um, but then I like gathered some people who I knew were part of a group, but then they weren't going to pursue that, like not pursue, like they weren't going to further that group. So I was like, why don't you come with us, with me, and we'll make a group. And that's how it started. So like their friends called their friends, I called Nia, and that's how it started.
So like, how did you decide on the actual group name?
Um, our group name was originally Amour, like French for love, because it was a Love Live group. Not very creative, but like, but no, but like I was just like, it works. It's a cute name. But then we had to change it because at the time there was another Love Live group in Australia called Amour, and so I was thinking because Amour is French, why don't we stick with the French name? And then Etude is the name of like a study in French, and like
Mhm.
many like musical pieces accompany like have like Etude 45 whatever. Like so I was like, oh, Etude is cute, so I'll use that.
With the original lineup, how many people were there? I guess like doing research on the YouTube channel, I would assume there's like nine, because you
Yeah,
guys covered Aqua, so like there had to be like nine people.
yeah, so we started with Muse, and there was originally maybe like not 10 people,
Mm.
uh 10 or so, because we had the nine, and then someone actually can join the first performance. So they were like, they called their friend, and that friend turned out to be Lily.
Oh.
So one of my other members for my group. So yeah, around 10. The numbers kept changing throughout the years because it was a Love Live group, so we had to change like the members according to the series. Um, but when we started out our idol stuff, it was around seven members, six. Yeah.
Mm. So, do you remember like the very first performance that you did as Etude?
Our very first performance was at Smash 2018. It was a Muse set, and we mixed a lot of songs in to fit that 15 minutes. And I remember it being not very early, but like pretty early in the morning because we all rushed to get in, and there was still a bunch of people like piling into the convention. Um, yeah, we had like our little costumes on. I was Hanukkah. Um, we did Mokito Love, The Second Dichu, Loneliest Baby, Angelic Angel, and yeah, we even had like sub-unit songs prepared because we wanted to have a long set and make use of our members.
Mm. Uh, what were your thoughts like immediately after the performance? Like how you guys did like performing for the first time as a group? So.
Oh, I remember being so stressed. Like I'm a natural stressor. If there's like an event, I will stress the hell out of it. Like uh I think like the post performance clarity hit me like a few days later when I was watching back on the videos. And um I'm a slight perfectionist, but I was very pleased. I kept like rewatching the video, like I had probably had hard eyes in my eyes, like very, very happy, very like all the stress kind of like went away, and I was very relieved.
um, I guess in general, around that time when Etude started, how was or what was the Sydney Idol scene like?
Oh, so the Sydney Idol scene, there was only one group there. It was AGS 10-2. And at that time, like I remember them at that year, they were handing out flyers, doing guerrilla lives outside on the rooftop of the convention. Um, and my member Lily was actually like a avid like regular. Like actually no, yeah, a few of our members were regulars. So that's how I came to know AGS 10-2. Um, I actually like before I even joined Etude, I remember, or maybe like it was when I was in Etude, but didn't really know AGS. I used to walk down Town Hall, and I think the first ever performance I saw was like just like caught eye of was the Pink members' graduation, like a while back. I walked past and I was thinking, oh, that's really cute. Like I really want to be a part of that scene. And then eventually, like we had practices, and a few of them would be like, okay, we're done with practice. We're gonna go watch AGS. Do you want to come? And I also and I would be like, yeah. Like I think I joined them eventually, and then I started coming in sometimes,
Mm.
and that was the scene. That was the scene. It was just that tiny little room at town hall where everyone came together to watch these girls on a tiny stage.
It was
That
like in a corner, right?
yeah, it was in a corner. It was in the corner of a cafe, and it was it was a time. Yeah.
It's very much, I guess, like very interesting that like from AGS, like afterwards, it spawned like several different groups, and I guess it inspired like
Yeah.
some other groups too. So like afterwards, you had like Citrus Plus, you had um Dempa, you had like a lot of other people, and then you have Etude, who what as like you said, like a lot of your a lot of your members were regulars, and then you started Etude. So
Yeah.
so very interesting that it all just started with one group.
It's yeah, definitely.
So
At the time, also there was also Amuse, but I don't think that at that time they had come interstate yet.
mm,
But I think for Brisbane, they were very, I think they were very influential.
uh, I do want to have a like a Muse member on. It's very interesting. I guess like that whole Australian idol scene is very interesting to like look upon. So yeah. Um, how would you like? When would you say was the transition from for Etude from being like a Love Live cover group to actually being an actual idol group? I guess straying away from that.
Um, I think so. The first year in 2018, we did Muse. 2019, we did Aquars. But then later on that year, when I started getting into more of the J-pop. I started getting back into like Nico Nico Doga and like J-pop groups. And then, so our second Aquars performance, we actually were like, oh, let's just make our own original costumes. Let's add some Vocaloid into our set, so it's a bit more like versatile. We didn't want to let go of the cosplay just yet because we didn't want to perform. Like, we didn't want to make idol sonas or perform as ourselves yet.
Mm,
Um, but I think it's just like the natural progression of just wanting to do more. Especially because in our group, we had so many people with so many different interests, and like Love Life was just a tiny little thing, but we could do much more. So I think that's how it progressed. And then when we had the opportunity to perform non-Love Life stuff, we just took it because we wanted to do more.
right. I guess I guess a direct like equivalent to your situation with Etude was is probably Aquarius, and we had like a bunch of we had like two Aquarius members on, and they were originally a like a Aqua Love Live Sunshine like cover group, and
Yeah,
then they immediately not immediately but like they slowly transitioned to like doing original idol stuff. So yeah, it's cool
yeah.
like
It
parallel with both.
I
Yeah.
think it's just natural. You just want to do more. Like it's a deep tunnel you fall into.
Um, how would you describe Etude's concept?
Mm, it's very hard because we don't really have a concept. If you like, look at other idol groups. Like Wooly has her frog concept. Like she has like a frog not persona, but like imagery. Fable has their space rock sort of imagery. Noxia has the gothic like persona. I feel like Etude is a bit versatile. We keep our image pretty light, but there are times where we try to be more versatile, like um, exploring concepts a bit, but not too much. I think we generally like the idea of idols, so we just, I think like subconsciously was like, let's keep the classic idol concept because that's what we all enjoy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was very curious. Like, yeah, as you said, Wooly has frog stuff. Fable
Yeah.
has galaxy sci-fi, and then, yeah, it's very. You can like describe like an idol group with like one word or like one like
Yeah.
adjective,
But
and
I feel
you
like
get
with
it.
Etude it's a bit hard. Like
Right.
we had people come up to us at shows like at Taiwan saying like, "Oh, you remind me of groups in Japan."
Scott
Oh,
stream.
oh, 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 oh.
Oh, oh, there we go. Okay, cool,
I
awesome.
think, I think.
All right. Yeah, awesome. Well, there's a first time for everything, so that's totally fine. We'll just cut this out on the VOD. It's totally fine. Oh, where were we? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Um. So yeah, Love Live into J-pop covers, and then yeah, and then 2020 hits.
Yeah.
Pandemic. What happens with the group?
Um. What happened was, I think Sydney, Australia had a very good COVID plan. Um. Basically, nothing happened. We had like online streams, I guess, where we tried to like do different things. Um. We were actually preparing to perform, and then COVID hit, and then actually no, wait, hold on, backtrack. So when COVID first happened, it was like it didn't reach Australia yet. So we had performed our very first idol set, like proper idol set in at a convention, and like COVID was still like, around, like, but it wasn't like no, like nothing had, like no rules had been implemented yet. So we did our first um idol set, and then we introduced our idol concept. COVID hit, we started streaming, um, and then eventually we were given the okay by our government to go out again. And we took that as an opportunity to be like, oh, okay, we can perform. Um, but then obviously, like, we had to have no audience because it was not allowed. We had to share, there were six of us. And so we had to share three mics between two people, and we had to stay a certain distance apart, and like we had to sing not facing each other. It was a time.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what are your thoughts on, on the no audience shows? Because
Yeah.
as an idol or as an entertainer, it probably sucks that there's no people there.
Yeah, it really sucked, but to be honest, I completely enjoyed it because like there was like barely any pressure. Um, there was a pressure to like get it right, but like on camera, and I think like, but I think it was really fun because at least we got to enjoy like performing while everyone was safe at home. Um, we still took checkies. We still talked to our audience through the stream, but I think it was fun while it lasted. Like not so fun for the audience because they couldn't come watch, but like I think it was a good experience for us. It definitely helped, so we didn't like go ahead for like blind into performing in front of an audience.
Hmm. When lockdown was lifted, And then I was like doing research. It was like Duet Live with Neonism. That was your first show back with an audience. How was that after performing with no audience?
Oh, it was so great. Like I like honestly couldn't like believe we were performing in front of an audience, and especially like performing with friends. Like we were really good friends with Neonism, and so it was fun having like doing a show with other people, and seeing the people who are supporting you in person. It's like a whole nother feeling like I can't really describe.
Mm, interesting.
But also I think was it Duet Live? Was it really Duet Live the first show?
Yeah, I was looking through. Like
Oh,
the description was like, "This is your first like performance back with an audience," or if I misread, I don't know.
oh no, because no, I remember, I think there was like bouts. Oh, bouts. Okay. Wait, maybe I'm just getting my timeline wrong. No, there were some shows where we before Duet Live where we had audience members, but yeah, I think that was like a big gap in between.
Mm, interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah. So, a little bit of sidetrack. Like originally, you did start with like 9 people, like covering Love Live, and then people come and go. How did you Oh yeah, someone's saying like, was it Gotcha? The Gotcha Live?
Oh, Gotcha, yeah, Gotcha Live.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think so. Yes,
Mm.
yes. I'm
So,
like looking back for those two.
going back, originally started with 9 people, come and go, and then I guess you landed on 6 people. How did you like find new members for the group?
So like I said, the original 9 members was me. I asked Nia, who was my childhood friend and also cousin. And then I asked the remainder. Though I think there were 3 or 4 girls from the previous Love Live group, and then they brought in members. So it was Lily, and then they brought Naneko from Dempa. Naneko was originally part of Etude, and I think that was the original 9. Then we had a vote because we were like, okay, you guys, we want to do Aquas now. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to stay. Then we all auditioned again for new members, and that's where we found Burb and Yule. So uh, that's where we found them, and then later again we did another audition, and then that's how we found Mikan. It was like a private audition because she said that she really wanted to join, so we were like, okay, dance for us. and uh and then people left, and not because they really like they didn't want to do it necessarily, like everyone had their own like try at it, and then if it wasn't to their liking or they just didn't have enough time, it's a bit natural for people to leave eventually. But that's how we became the 6 of us.
Right. So later on, I guess the main 6 people that like it was very much a consistent lineup for the next like
Yes.
few years. Um, with that lineup, how I would say like, or I would ask like, how often would you say the group would perform?
So Etude has a very I would like to say a very consistent show schedule. We have our own one mans every 2 months, like bi-monthly shows. And then if there was a Taiban, we would try to perform that on the uneven, like on the months that we weren't. Nowadays, we just well, we tried to perform as much as we can, but things happen, and so we were supposed to have a show in October, but it fell through, not because we were unprepared, but because we just wanted to bring out the best of Etude. And then our bi-monthly schedule is back on track with our next show.
Which is right there. Advertise.
Yeah.
Get your ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. This one, this side. This side.
Yeah.
Oh, this side.
So, yeah. Because I was very interested to ask, because, Fable, they have the tie bonds, and they also have one man's whenever. Citrus Plus is very all over the place. Not gonna lie, because I was interested in how your guys' schedule was. So
Yeah, I think for us it's a bit. Back when there were 6 of us, it was very hard to get all 6 of us in one place. Even now, when there's me, Yule, and Lily, because we have very different lives, I guess. It's a bit hard for us to come together and practice, let alone perform, because most of the shows are on the weekends, and usually we're very busy on the weekends. Yeah, it's strange.
during those performances, what songs would usually be on the set list?
So we try to keep one original song in our set list, and then we usually perform a song that has been with us since the very start is Upper Liner by Appare. We perform that song often. We perform a fan chosen song called Part-Time Dreamer by Mashiro no Canvas. Very good idol song. Recently, one of our repertoire songs is now Last Summer Daydream by Ringdawarum. So I think classic idol sounding songs are part of our set list. Sometimes, most of the times we try to stick it to one genre. But so if we have that idol sound, and then sometimes we'd have our EDM sound, which is a lot of Homura, a lot of cyber, stuff like that.
Neat. On the topic of original songs, what was the very first original song that the group had?
So it was in COVID actually that we started. Well, it was a bit before COVID, that I had the idea of making original music. It was originally just our overture at first, and then a few instrumental beats, and then we started making all 3 of our original tracks at the same time. 2 of them, or most of our original music, is by our producer Obake, and then our last song was a friend of one of our members, Jericho. They're all EDM, because at the time I think I wanted to be an EDM. I wanted Etude to be an EDM group. Weird. but yeah, we worked on them at the same time. I just remember it would be 3 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, and I would be on the document writing lyrics, and I would see Yule on the same document, and we'd be like, "What the hell are you doing on there? Go to sleep." Yeah, it was just me and Yule, and a couple all the members would contribute, and we'd be writing lyrics together during COVID. And the first song we ever debuted, the first song that was actually ready, was Tenki Ame, produced by Jericho. All the lyrics were written by us, and I always wanted this song to be a towel song, this. So that's how it came to be. I choreographed it when we came together, and we performed it. I think I'm not sure where we first debuted it, but it was way back then. Sometime. Yeah. I think it was Rock On. We had a show called Rock On, And no, even earlier than that. I'm losing my mind. But I think Rock On is was the show that we debuted all of our tracks. So yeah.
This is the very first time I guess I had someone who actually choreographed their own their own stuff to their own original music. But like, what goes into making choreo for a song?
Making choreo for a song. Um, so I'm very much a listen to the beat, like follow the beat, follow the rhythm and the instruments of the song. So when we got drafts for our songs, I used to be like walking back from work, like listening to the songs, and I would like create an image like in my head of like what I wanted it to be. And obviously I'm a big K-pop fan, J-pop fan, Nico Nico Doga fan, and I just watch videos and think, oh, that looks good. Oh, I think this would go well. Like there's like a list of songs of dances that are like underneath like original songs saying like we can do this, we can do that part, we can do this part. So like even like there's a part in Tenki Ame where we grab our towels and we like form a circle and like we drag it across like that. That was I took inspiration from a K-pop choreography. So it's a inspiration from everywhere. I try to create images and like what I think would suit the members. Um and also like what the members can actually do. Like so it's not too hard but not too easy. I just wanted things to be like easy to follow too.
Can I ask, the towel thing, was that from Sistar? Or
No, it was from Eyes One,
oh, okay.
which also had Sakura and Hitomi and Nako from AKB48. It was I'm pretty sure the Mama performance, La Vie and Rose dance break.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you watch it, you will see it and you'll be like, that's that's familiar because I took it straight from that.
Yeah, very interesting because like I never had someone that actually choreoed their own stuff. Usually they just do the actual like when they cover a song they do the actual choreo. But like with the original
Ah,
song, even with Fable they got choreo from someone like another dancer, which is fine. But like
mm,
very interesting to get like insight from, especially you who like did choreo
yeah.
for this. So
And also a few of our songs, also like few of the songs that we've covered, I actually changed as well. Sometimes because there was no video, but also to suit our members better. I think it's like that executive decision to be like, it works well for this group, but it doesn't look well for us. So we can change it to suit us. Like I think like that like as long as we look good, I think that's what matters to me in terms of a performance in dance. Yeah.
a little bit of sidetrack, but you did, or like skimming through like your social media, like you are a part of a K-pop dance like group. Um, how would you say, like, you know, doing K-pop dance choreo? You're very much just focusing on the choreo, but like going back into like a tutor, like actual idol performances. How has that? Um, do you think it's like easier or is it like more difficult because you're actually singing, or like what's your thought on that?
Uh, I find K-pop is a little bit more easier.
Really?
Just because for me, like I don't lead in most of our projects. I don't lead in K-pop, so I am a little lamb. I listen to like but it's definitely improved like my J-pop side. Like I can learn. I before I did my K-pop stuff, I actually had no idea how to count. Like what like in the 8 beat, like I had no idea how to apply that. But now I can. It's made looking at dances a bit more easier. Like learning dances was never an issue for me, but like now that I understand like moves, it's a lot more easier for me. And also I know when to relax during dances a bit. Like it just like the priority in idol dance is like I know when to rest, I know when to do this, do that. I take it from my K-pop stuff. Yeah, even though the dances are harder in K-pop, like I feel like I feel like a zombie when I dance in K-pop. It's just like when once the music starts, I just
It's muscle memory.
and yeah. But whereas idol stuff, we have a lot more to consider. Like I I am forgetful. I forget my lyrics because I really languages is hard and so I had to remember my lyrics. I had to remember like stage work and like stage presence um because in K-pop dancing you like with K-pop in publics you just focus on the camera. um yeah, it's a lot more consideration for the idol stuff because there's so many things to focus on. But then yeah, that's what I find easier.
uh, Going back to Tenkiyame, uh, was it was that your like very first time like writing lyrics for an original song or like singing original song like that?
Yeah, it was my very first time writing lyrics that actually had like music to it.
Mm.
Um, I think we took a lot of time and effort into making the lyrics, and yeah, it was our very first time performing to a song that was original. Oh, yeah, uh, yeah. Tenki Yama had a lot of like thought put into it because, like in the lyrics, there's like a lot of um, what do you call it? Like symbolism or like they had like a lot of Easter eggs.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, metaphors, Easter eggs to the members. Like we tried to make puns and metaphors from our names and personas and stuff. So yeah, that was Tekiyame was the first.
Mm. Uh, was there like anything that? Oh wait, no. Was there like any inspirations that you wanted to pull from for this song or no?
Oh, no, I think the only thing I wanted Tekiyame to be was the Tao song. Yeah. It was very much like this is our encore song. Um, this is our Tao song. It's very much like uh this is etude, like a little like gift for us. That was sort of the main drive for Tenkiyame.
Mm. Uh, I guess I want to ask, anything like interesting happened during like the music video shoot or like?
Oh, so originally we started our video shoot in like Piermont. Uh, I had like a whole storyboard idea in mind, but it kind of got derailed because it was raining. I mean, like the name of the song is Tenki Ame, but it was just like bad, bad rain, like no sun. It was just shower. Um, so like we moved from Piermont, we moved and then we took a Uber and we zoomed all the way to a place called Chatswood. Um, and it was like nothing much happened. It wasn't interesting. I feel like if I could go back into the past, I would slap myself in the face and be like, we need a proper shoot for this. Like, because we just ended up like going to nice locations and just lip syncing. There was like vague directions. Um, but I knew because I also edited that video. I was like, I can make this work. Like I looked at the footage and I was like, I can make this work. No problem. It was just like a bunch of random videos, which I think and like it was a bunch of random videos and a bunch of digital camera photos that we took amongst ourselves. And I think that just like actually like works well with Thank You Ame as in like the song itself because it's a love letter from us about Etude to our fans. So yeah, I feel like apart from that, nothing really interesting happened.
That's totally fine. Cause like I just wanted to ask like about the music video. So um going in line with like original music, you did have like tracks prior to or like you did Tenkiyame, you had the overture, you had some other tracks, and then that led up to I guess the release of Golden Hour. What was the decision like to release an EP like that? Even though it's like retroactively like adding in old songs into that, like what was it the decision like?
So Tinkiyame is our anthology album. We had like one of our songs isn't on there because Etude, we are unpleased with how it sound like at the current state at the time. We were not happy with it, so we kept that to the CD release rather than the online release. But and also at that time we collaborated with a composer from Japan and we released Harusugedori. And then I was thinking like, why not just bite the bullet and just have all our songs in the album? Because I always wanted to have a physical album. So I think it just like it came to the point where we were just like, we have to put out our music. We have to make an album. And it's like a long time coming. Like I feel like we should have had the show a lot earlier. But we were just unprepared. Like we were a bit unsatisfied. Um, but I think now like it's a bit of a relief. Like we didn't have to worry about publishing our music anymore. And yeah, it was just like a long time coming, the album.
So how would you say like from concept to release, how long did like production take? Because yeah, you had like some songs prior to like actually releasing it, but like was there anything like in development like right beforehand or no?
So overall, like our the production of all the songs in the album took from 2020 to 2023, like 4 years. Because mainly because we were self-produced, like we had to record it ourselves. We had to organize it with the producers ourselves, write the lyrics ourselves, all that jazz. Um, uh, and we're all very inexperienced, so I think that took like the most reason as to why it took so long. Also, like all of us were a bit of perfectionists, like we wanted it to be up to our standards. Um, but I would say like each song took around a few months. Haru Sugedori was our easiest song because we didn't have to do anything. We gave what we wanted the song to be, and then they gave it to us, they gave us the lyrics, and all we had to do was record it. And the dances took like less than a week. I think Haru Sugedori was my fastest one with being like 4 days. Um, but and then we had a concept shoot for the album, and then I made all the graphics for the album in a few days. So like I feel like um yeah, because it took 4 years, but it was all like very hard work, like from being a self-produced group. Not because we had any delays, but because we wanted to take our time.
I could see that. Like you guys, as you said, perfectionists. So you might as well try to get, the near perfect or at least perfect in your eyes, like product out. So I see. What would you say was your favorite track to record for that?
My favorite track to record. So we the original three songs we recorded together in 2 days. We had I have a specific memory of Tenkiyame. Tenkiyame was supposed to have like this spoken word like group ad lib moment at the end where it would fade out with us laughing. It never happened because we could not get that. We could not take that. We could not use that take. It was I just remember like the six of us crammed into one tiny recording studio. We're reading off our phones like this really weird script that I wrote like 5 minutes beforehand, and we're like laughing, and the laugh is so like because we laugh like hyenas. Like if we're really laughing at something funny, we will laugh like crazy, and that's what happened. And then like I think I have the video from it, but it was I think that was like my good memory with recording for Tenki Ame, the first time round. Yeah, that like memory of us just like laughing at Mikan, because she said something like she was like, I think the script went something like, "Oh, we're in a bakery. I want food. You pay for it." And then Mikan just suddenly goes, "Ikuza!" And we all start laughing. Like, I'm glad that didn't make the song like make it into the actual track because I think we would have cringed at it. But it was a good memory. So Tenkiyama is my favorite.
Since we have some people that are just learning about Etude for the first time or like discovering them through this episode, what is one track you would recommend for them to listen to?
I would recommend listening to Harusugedori, which is Spring Bird in Japanese in English. Jap- Harusugedori, I think, is it's our most recent song and it's the song that we collaborated with the company Allison Pro and our composer um Ohira Seiji. And I think it's a very like it's a very idol song. And I think it's my favorite to perform because like so much imagery and like we get to act like pretty with our dresses. I really like the song. So I think it's the best one. But Tenki Ame is actually the song that encapsulates Etude the most. And I think it's like it's banging. Because it's a happy hardcore EDM song, so I think most people can get behind it. It's those two songs I think I would recommend the most.
You did say you had a few producers. You had Obake, you had Jericho. How did you specifically find like a Japanese producer for one of those tracks or some of those
Ah,
tracks?
so at the time we were not wanting to do original music anymore. We just wanted to get those three songs done and out. But then a friend of ours, he said to us, I have this friend who's interested in Australian idol groups and he wants to like basically sponsor. So um we were supposed so he got us into contact with them, with the producers, and he was like, I'm interested in sponsoring overseas idol groups because I want them to perform in Japan. And we were like, oh, that's so cool. Like let's take the opportunity. Because it's like, we don't have to do anything but sing and dance and promote the song. So we were like, let's do it. Like no more 2 a.m. lyric calls. Um, and we collaborated, and he originally the song was meant to represent Australia because I mean I guess that's the concept of like promoting overseas groups, to promote the country as well. But Australia doesn't like have much
Culture?
like no, Australia has plenty
Okay.
Australia has amazing culture, but like we can't represent that because we are all um we're all not from, like, it felt a bit wrong
Yeah, yeah.
because yeah, so we were just like, okay, let's just, instead of doing cultural stuff, let's just do like, we just want to be classic idols, we want to be pretty fancy princesses and fairies and whatnot. But yeah, so we wanted that song done by Smash, which was like which is an Australian convention, like the biggest Australian anime convention, I think. And we had a couple months to do it. I think what the producer said, he wanted to give us costumes, outfits, and a song, like the whole package, but only the song was ready in time. So we were like, it's okay, the song is fine. We can make our own choreo because um, I can do it. And then, but also because we only had a few days um, to the convention by the time the song was ready with the backing mix and everything. So yeah, that's how it came to be.
Interesting. I as you said, you are perfectionists, or most of the group is. But is there anything that you could have done differently for Golden Hour?
Um, I think, like again, I think I feel like it should have been brought out earlier because we teased Golden Hour actually in one of our shows. I think it was not Rock On. Oh no, it was Rock On. I think we like teased our album, but then not COVID, but like something happened. We were not pleased with it. Like the mixing, we were not happy with the mixing. We weren't happy with the choreo. Uh, I wanted music videos out to promote the song. I am also finding a good CD, like a good album manufacturer in Sydney is pretty hard. That fits in with our cost. So I think that just stumped us. I think because we had to release a couple songs more, like a couple more songs because we left it out of the album. But I think just I feel like we should have just taken our time and like we should have gotten like a manager, like a project manager for the group. I feel like that would have helped out a lot. So we didn't have to stress out about it.
Uh, yeah, I usually just ask groups that release like music like what they could have done differently. Because like with Fable, they didn't have a lot of time. That was their thing. Like they didn't have a lot of time, and like some stuff that they wanted in couldn't happen because of time. So like I guess with you, stuff happens. So
I think it's just yeah. I think I would have liked a bit more. I feel like I was a bit too stubborn to ask for help, but I feel like in hindsight, I we should have asked for help from like outsourcing help. Yeah.
uh, I guess going into the retrospect section, what would you say was the toughest performance for Etude, in your opinion?
I think the toughest. I think the toughest. Oh, the toughest performance that I've done with the group, for me, it was our Eternal show, like a couple months back. It was our latest group performance. Um, I don't know because it felt like it was coming off the period of time from the convention, like there was like a bunch of conventions and a bunch of performances all in a row, and I think everyone was just tired. Everyone was just really tired, and although we didn't perform, we felt the exhaustion from the audience. Like not many people came to our show, and we made up for it in the stream, but we felt that it was pretty tough to perform when you had all these groups performing week week by week, day by day, and yeah, it was hard for us to find like time and a concept that people would enjoy. So yeah.
On the other side of the like spectrum, like what would you consider your weirdest performance you've done as a group?
My weirdest performance, um, I wouldn't say weirdest, but like the weirdest place that we've performed at was we performed at League of Legends World's Championship screening.
Really?
Yeah. Um, yeah, we got offered the gig and we performed to a bunch of league player like random people. Like I remember seeing my like normal friends and they were like standing there like, is that you? Like we were in the back room and there were like some K-pop crews there and they were like, what are you wearing? And I was like, oh, okay. It was a fun time there. Like it was uh we had a water there. They were fun and it was just like a weird setting. Like a weird weird context, weird setting. Like, yeah, pretty strange.
Was that like I would assume this is like right after or right or like during like when they brought out KDA. So like or
No, it
no,
was last
wait,
year.
last year. Oh, so
Yeah,
okay, so like they definitely I guess like the organizers were like, "Hey, we want K-pop or we want an idol. Let's get it too."
yeah. I think cause I remember I got the message from the person, and I think it was Christy who recommended us, and I think Fable and Citrus. So Citrus was also there. Naya was also there. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird having my worlds collide, like my K-pop friends and my normal friends, and then I'm doing idol stuff, and then there's like just there was a bar, and it was pretty weird. But yeah, yeah, it was fun.
I guess one last thing for retrospect. Like what would you say in your opinion is your favorite performance of all time?
My favorite performance was at oh was at Smash 2019 21. It was earlier in our like career, I guess. We had a pretty big crowd at Smash, and it was really fun. I remember being really stressed out as always. Um, but it was so much fun. I just remember it being so much fun. I have the date. It is. I do not have the date. Oh, no. Smash 2022. I remember it being really fun. Not all our members were there, but there was only five of us. But I remember the crowd being so ecstatic. I think also just like any Smash convention stages, we always have a good time performing, and it's so memorable because like we had to condense so much into those like 15-10 minute slots. And yeah, just like every second is so memorable to me.
Mm. Uh, going, I guess like in general, I guess it would be like Etude and also maybe Citrus Plus that the both of you have been the longest tenured for the Sydney idol scene. I guess compared to like everyone else. Everyone else probably started like post COVID or like right before COVID.
Mm.
What keeps you guys going?
What keeps Etude going? Um, Not gonna lie, we just like performing. It's not like we don't want to strive to do like big things. I think we've just accepted that like, oh, we like to perform. We'll do what makes us happy. Like it makes us happy. Because like originally when I started, I was like, I want to go to AFA. I want to perform overseas. I want to perform interstate. Um, but I think I've been a bit humbled, and I think like with losing members and like actually performing interstate, um what what drives me and what drives Etude is just wanting to be happy with ourselves and performing as much as we can and making everyone else happy.
Uh, I guess we could like go into it. Yeah, I guess we went into it beforehand, but you had members, people come, people go, especially this year. Um, how is the group able to adapt after that?
Mm, I mean, for us, we saw it like again like a long time coming. Um, because all of us have different passions and interests. Not all of them align, and that's completely fair. But we're all still really good friends. Like despite it, like they're still in our group chat, like in our Etude group chat. They're still like participating and everything. They just don't want to perform, and that's completely fine because it's not for everyone. Uh, I think on the business side of it, like it's pretty hard adjusting from 6 people to 3, like currently 3. It's a big downsize, and I think it's a pretty negative for us because we're so used to seeing the stage full, and so when we perform, it feels really empty for us. I think that's the only thing. Like, if like the stage feels a bit more emptier, um, that's pretty much it. Like, it's a bit sad for us to see like us dwindle down in size.
You know what? Life goes on. I guess stuff happens, and you know, you guys are still going, so
Yeah.
that's that's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the last time we had an Australian guest, or like a series of Australian guests, was like during Smash, so that would be like July. And now flash forward 4 months later, I might as well just get an update on the Sydney idol scene. Would you say like the Sydney idol scene is in a good spot right now compared to when it started, or whatnot?
I would say that it's pretty much from where we first started. I think it's sort of thriving. Like, there's so many idols. Um, we have a consistent group of people, like group of voter who come to our shows, to all the shows. We do have people popping in and out, so um, so they're interested. Um, and conventions are generally always like people always are interested. I think it takes a while. It takes a while for um like these concepts and like this culture to get going. So it's definitely good in a good spot. And we had Miku Expo recently, um, for the first time in Australia, and I think a lot of people who I've never seen. They have pen lights. They want to do more. Like, they want to see more. Like, from what I've heard from my friends, like they want to see more uh folklore stuff, J-pop stuff, but they just haven't seen any events happening. So yeah, it takes a while to pick up, but I think in a few years' time it will be bustling.
What would you say needs to be improved within the scene to, I guess, gravitate more people towards it?
I think it just takes a bit more exposure. For right now, when we promote to a pretty like um our own audiences, but with all things like with all things entertainment, you just need to promote and have more exposure because like then again, when like I said, people want to see more of this sort of stuff, but they just haven't seen any events happening or like they're just not in the right market. I remember being an opener for Baby Beard, and these people came up to us after the performance and said like, "Oh, I didn't know we had any idols." But we've been around for a long time. So I think um, things that we need to improve on are like exposure to more people. And I think, especially for Sydney, we need a better um, arts and culture like environment. We don't have many affordable music venues. So most of our events are in the same place, but also that can be a bit stale. And I think, especially with Fable reaching out and going to a new venue for their home base for performances, it's good because it gives more diversity and gives more range to who's seeing the performances. But yeah, I think more venues, more exposure. I think that will definitely be something that we can improve.
Mm. I think, yeah, when I talked to Nae, like like they didn't even know there was an actual scene, an idol scene in Sydney, because they were doing like K-pop stuff, and then they found, I think it was like the Fable auditions, and they just joined, and and I think like Sunny was surprised that like Sunny was trying to like reach out for more people, and that's how they got Nae, and even then, um Sunny was also like talking about wanting to bring more like outside people, like international people, to focus on on the Australian scene, and then
Yeah.
and then it was me like somehow in Japan finding Ryun Gumi. That all it took was this, so to just spotlight the Australian scene. And she was like, they were like, but yeah, I feel like the scene needs more focus somehow. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think recently me and Yul, we went to Melbourne to promote Etude, and there was a big like after party for idols. And I think that was pretty successful because you had obviously the regulars, you had some congoers, you had like we had a bunch of people just like randomly come up and say like and like be interested. And I think yeah, it's good, like especially in an environment like such as a convention. You have like all these people like generally the same interests. You just like need to explore a bit more.
And I guess it's very hard to predict the future, but like in a few years now, where do you see the scene going?
Um, Wishful thinking allows me to think that there will be a better home base for idols. um, but uh, I do think the scene is going very well. You have a lot of people who come up to you saying like I want to become an idol or I just want to get into this. Like a lot of people who are willing to take the time and like learn and become idols. Um Hopefully the scene will stay strong because it stays strong. I think so. Some people come in and out, some people stay. A lot of younger people like idols and I know bad is a bit it's a bit bad, but like a lot of people that I've talked to, like a lot of normal friends I have, they've started to get interest in idols from like the idol anime, um, like Oshinoko. Like they started watching and they were like, I'm actually interested in this. So hopefully the Sydney scene can grow. Hopefully the Australian scene as a whole can grow because I feel like Sydney's idol scene is a bit it's like more because there's so much of us. Um, I hope hopefully Australia can grow better in the idol scene. I see a lot of potential.
Hmm. uh, Heading towards that, or like segueing into like future talk. Is there like any bucket list things that you want to achieve as an idol? You did say like you got humbled, but like is there like any other goals that you have in mind?
I really want us to perform overseas. Like I actually like genuinely do want to go overseas and perform. Um, but of course like it's a bit not affordable. Also it's a bit hard to promote overseas because it's hard enough performing in your home city. I can't imagine performing like overseas. It's a bit like daunting. I think, yeah, that's for me. Like I want to perform overseas. Yeah, I've done pretty much everything I wanted to do already. It's just like that one thing.
Uh, since we do have a lot of or like some idols that just started out, or like tenured idols that are just curious about other people in the scene or like scenes outside of their like specific area, do you have any general advice for idols?
Um, I would say, uh, practice hard. And don't be afraid to reach out if you need help, because I know a lot of idols they don't really come from any sort of background like dance background or background breakdown, um, or like singing background. Like it's okay to reach for help. It's okay to like watch videos and like it's okay to be bad at the start. Like don't have to worry about being bad at the start because there's only one place you can go from there, and that's getting better.
uh, hmm. What do you plan on doing after being an idol, or like when you say like your time is done here?
I think for me, I have a lot of like creative pursuits. Idol is just being an idol is just a part of it. I like graphic design. I like taking photographs. Um, I do have a few people asking me if I am going to produce like groups. I don't think I would produce a group, but I would still like to be part of the scene, whether as a author or just like a staff member. Like I like taking photos. I'll probably be taking photos, or I'd still probably be doing dance covers, whether or not it's like Nico Nico Doga, Vocaloid, or K-pop. I'll probably be doing either one of those. But I would still like to be part of the scene.
Uh, since some members of the Sydney Idol scene like started out in a group and then some of them do solo stuff, say like Nae, Amy, Azusa of Citrus Plus. Do you have like any thoughts about doing solo performances or no?
I've done a few, but not as just Tilda. I always promote as Tilda of Etude because that's who I am. I feel like I don't, I wouldn't really want to perform solo. I definitely work better in a group. Um, but I do consider it sometimes, but I'm a very big team player. Like I love performing with people. I don't really like doing solo stuff or being by myself.
Uh, hmm. I always ask like this question to every guest, but like, what would the current you tell the Tilda that was about to make her idol debut?
I would say don't worry. Like you will be doing fine. Um, because again, like I stress a lot before performances, and so I would say to just relax. You're going to do well. You don't need to stress. Don't need to worry about anyone else but yourself. Um, yeah, that's it. Like I feel like I just need to tell myself not to stress too much. Don't overthink thing or don't overthink anything. Yeah.
Uh, I guess can I ask like what's next for Etude? Is there like any inkling of like new songs? You do have like the event next week. Buy your
Yes.
ticket, but like, is there anything else that you want to promote or like?
Um, so Etude has had a member on hiatus for like the longest time, and I can happily say that they will be coming back.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're making preparations for their return, and also we have to adjust a lot of our things because again we had six members, then we dwindled down to five, then it went to three, four, and then went to three. Now we have to adjust back to four. Um, so we're gonna take like a small little break just so we can acclimate to everything, and hopefully this lineup will actually will stay for a long time.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah, so keep an eye on it.
yeah. If you're new to Etude and also Tilda, you could follow Tilda, or yeah, there's her card and also Etude's card, where they have all 600 social medias on there. Follow them there. Yeah. I guess this concludes this interview of IDOLEYEZ, but you know, of course, it is a tradition for every single IDOLEYEZ episode. At the very end, where there's a segment called "The Worst Pep Talk Ever," where for 1 minute I have to give the guest the worst pep talk ever. So there you go. 1 minute. Tilda, holy shit, you are a really good dancer. You're like really good, and keep doing what you gotta do. Like, I'm, be it like dance covers or be it through Etude. I do want to see you dance a lot more. And also, you know what? Yeah, as an idol, keep doing what you got to do with Etude. I don't know what's gonna happen. Future's uncertain, but I do want to see you guys continue as a group. And
Yeah.
even with like a member on hiatus coming back, and you guys gotta have to take a little bit of a break. That's fine. Whatever. That's totally natural. Yeah. You're great. What else? Sydney idol scene. You know, hopefully it'll get better. Yeah, I do want to see more from Etude. I do want to like hear more music, and I do want to see you guys perform more. So like, hopefully, in the next year, you guys are gonna do high up, sky high, wahoo. Yeah. So 1 minute 09. That these pep talks are always bad. So, yeah.
Oh, you did great.
But yeah, this concludes this episode of IDOLEYZ. They're awful. We love them. I don't know. But this concludes this episode of IDOLEYZ. But next week, we were supposed to have another Aussie guest, but that didn't happen. So, instead, we have next week, we have El Foxu. We're going back to America. El Foxu, very good performer. Recently did a Sheena Ringo cover performance, a whole set at Otakon Idol Space. So that's how I discovered them, and we'll be having them next week, next December 7th, 2024, 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST, 1 p.m. AEDT. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking around despite some technical difficulties. But yeah, also thank you, Tilda, for accepting this invitation. I'm always scared for people to decline the invitation. But
I'm like waiting on my computer, waiting for my turn on IDOLEYZ.
But yeah, that is it. I guess we'll be going to the ending screen. See you next Saturday. Take care, brush your hair, be kind, rewind. We'll be going to the ending screen right here, right now. Bye bye.
Bye.